Hello and welcome to Maths with Jacob. This lesson will focus on quadratic polynomials, part 4. A special puzzle to warm up the brain cells is on the next slide. The answer will be given at the end. Enjoy. What is the meaning of the following? Good luck with it and see how you go. The discriminant. In the previous videos we saw that there were three possible scenarios when it came to finding the roots of a quadratic equation. In this video we will learn how to quickly assess the nature of the roots from the quadratic formula. Now here's the quadratic formula, and the values of a, b and c are obtained from the equation. The expression b squared minus 4ac is called the discriminant, and it can provide us with very useful information about the roots of a quadratic equation. The discriminant is designated by the symbol, and it's the symbol of a triangle. If the discriminant is less than 0, there are no real roots, because we can't find the square root of a negative number. If the discriminant equals 0, there is one real rational root. For example, if that discriminant there is 0, that whole area there is cancelled out, and you just get minus b on 2a, which is one real rational root. If the discriminant is greater than 0 and it is a perfect square, there are two roots which are real, rational, and are not equal. For example, if the number under the square root sign, that is the discriminant, let's say it's 36, the square root of 36 is 6. And that's why there are two roots which are real, rational, and are not equal. If the discriminant is greater than 0 and it is not a perfect square, there are two roots which are real, irrational, and are not equal. For example, let's say the discriminant was, say, 13. Well, the square root of 13 is an irrational number, but there are still two roots on the real number line. The next slide will show an example for each of the above situations. Example 1. If you have this quadratic equation, they're the values of a, b and c. Substitute the value in the discriminant, which will give you 9 minus 40, which is minus 31. So there are no real roots, because that's a negative number, and you can't find the square root of a negative number. In example 2, if you substitute the values into the discriminant, you get 0 for the discriminant. So the square root of 0 is 0, so there's one real rational root. For example 3, if you substitute those values in, you will see that the discriminant is a perfect square. It's greater than 0 and it's a perfect square, so you'll have two roots which are real and rational. And the last example, if you substitute those values in for the discriminant, you will see that the discriminant comes out to be 12, and therefore that is not a perfect square, so there are two roots. They're on the real number line, but they're irrational, because the square root of 12 is an irrational number. Here's a quick quiz to help you. Please check through the video at any time. The answer to the puzzle, what is the meaning of the following? Beating around the bush. How nice is that? And here are the answers to the quick quiz, and the video is at your disposal.